we're going to talk about right now is percents. Percents are fairly easy and they're fairly common. We see them all the time, especially at school. I mean, if as a student you saw that you got 50% on your test, first thing you do is you recognize the fact that you just barely passed, and so you breathe a sigh of relief. And the second thing you know is that you got half of the marks right. The reason that works out, the reason why 50% represents a half, is because 50% can also be expressed as a decimal. In order to figure what 50% as a decimal is, take your decimal place, which would be there, and move it 2 places, 1, 2, to the left. So we end up with 0.50. Okay? Now we do have to go the second decimal place because percents are always fractions out of 100. So the first place value in your decimal is your tenths, THS, and your second one is your hundredths. Okay, so that's the same thing as saying 50 over 100, and we can reduce that further, take off the zeros. 5 over 10 is the same thing as 1/2. Let's do that again. 75%, move the decimal place over twice, gives us 0.75, or 75 out of 100. And if I take 25 out of the top and 25 out of the bottom, I end up with 3/4. Okay? Going the other way, if I had 1/3, I pop that into my calculator and I get 0.33, and it goes on forever. We'll just go with 0.33. To convert my decimal form to a percent, I move my decimal places 2 places, this time to the right. It gives me 33%, or 33 out of 100. Okay, one more time. Let's take a weird fraction. Let's take 27 out of 34. Okay. Well, any fraction can be divided as a divided by sign. So I go to my calculator and I go 27 divided by 34 gives me 0.79. Okay. 0.79, which is the same thing out of tenths, hundredths, 79 out of 100, or 79%. Okay. If we want to find out what a percent of a number is, say for example, you are given the question 13% of 120. Well, we need to find out what 13% of 120 is. In order to do that, in order to find what a percent of a number is, you multiply. So you take the decimal form, 12.13, times it by 120, and we get 0.13 times 120 equals 0.13 times 120 equals 15.6. So 15.6 is 13% of 120. Let's do one more. What if I said to you that a certain percent, we don't know, we'll just say X percent of 44 is 11. In this case, we want to solve for the percent. I set up my equation the same way. My X is going to represent my percent, so X of gives me a times 44 is equal 11. My goal is to get X all by itself. Right? That's my goal. That's my objective, to get X equals something. In order to do that, I got to get rid of a times 44. Well, the opposite of a times 44 is a divided by 44. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other side in order to keep that equation balanced. Alright? These two end up canceling each other out, and I'm left with x, which is what I want. And on this side, I have 11 divided by 44. And 11 divided by 44 equals 0.25. Equals 0.25, which is a percent, 25%. There you go. To find a percent of the number, you multiply. There you go. Quick and easy. Percent.